How we doing? Good morning. How you guys doing today? Outstanding. Appreciate everybody coming. Today was Turnover Wednesday, so turnovers was our heavy theme of the day. Guys did an outstanding job with that. Yesterday was Competition Tuesday, and they've been competing. One thing our kids have been doing is practicing at a very high level with effort. So that carries over to the GPS that they wear. So the numbers that we get back from the information and what we see on the field, kids are practicing and playing really hard. So that's very encouraging for how we practice. So that's been good. Obviously, we're very happy to be able to get back and be able to get through that game with a win last week. And kids have been on point. I think it helped a little bit getting back here late Saturday morning, having a Saturday off from the short week to kind of help us get ready for what is a huge game for us on Saturday against a ridiculously gifted football team. So a lot of things going on for us right now. Kids been doing a great job, so appreciate that. So go ahead and fire away with any questions you might have.
From just your chess match perspective, how good of a play designer and a play caller is Chip Brown?
Oh, he's as good as there is. There's somebody asked the other day, how good is he? I said, I don't know one better. So he's, I never give someone like the perfect title like that, but never been better. I went against him once when I was at Rutgers. I've known him for a long time. I've sat and visited with him. We're friends kind of from afar, I guess. Not say we're real close, but we know each other. But he does, a magnificent job with how he schemes things up. He has personnel. He has ideas that he wants to be able to get done. Then also he's got a lot of NFL players walking around, so that helps. His quarterback's an NFL guy, his tight end's an NFL guy. Charlie Jones is an NFL guy. They got several others that are in the same boat. So they're as talented as a group as that we've seen all year, skill-wise, and especially at the quarterback spot. Gifted. So we got our hands full, that's for sure.
What's been key for your defense the past two games and playing as well as they have after halftime,
I think the biggest thing that we've had some success, and I just to make sure they're on time for the team meal and stuff, and then they've been early for that, so I figure that's always a good sign when we get to the hotel. But kids just been bought into what we're doing. We can communicate very well on the sideline. You don't all of a sudden just create great attitude players. We have great attitude players. They were already here, and they're playing with that level of it right now. So how they handle things on the sideline, halftime they're like this. Both half times were a little rough. Indiana, and we played good defense. We gave up 14 points. We had the one on offense, but they'd scored twice right before. So halftime was like, how are we going to fix this? Same thing with this one. It's 13-0. What are we able to get done? We played solid in the first half after the first drive. Holding to the field goal was huge for us after the block punt. But that's all in the kids. I mean, that's just a bunch of guys being real dudes and stepping up and playing hard. Big eyes, big chests, bright-eyed. And that's all on them. So I'm just so proud of them. It's just so much fun to get a chance to coach them. Our staff loves coaching them. Nebraska should be proud of them for just the way they carry themselves.
How much is that momentum worth this week when they play as well as they have for 2 weeks in a row, going into just how you prepare and into the games?
That's always a positive. It's something that's going to always try to swing over in that, because I know they can handle situations that are tough. There's going to be a lot of tough situations in this game. If they'll be able to carry that over with them, it helped them a bunch in preparation. And the mood's always better after wins. I've done this now for 33 or 34 years, and pretty generally, if you win, next week's fun. If you lose, that week's not as much fun. So kind of that carries over. So that part's been good for us. We also know that we're in for a monumental battle at their place with a great crowd, with great players.
How are you viewing your quarterback situation with being day-to-day, Tommy Hill playing offense? Are you comfortable, if need be, with more hard sock handling, that type of?
Absolutely. Yep. Coach Fish has done a great job with those guys. Who's ever able to play will be able to go. Love Malcolm, how he fought back. He did a lot of good things. They hit a couple balls on him. That's on film. Everybody knows that. But it wasn't like he was in bad coverage. He was in good shape, and they dropped. Sometimes not all passes are defensible. You throw a perfect pass, no matter what coverage you're in, they're going to have a chance to be able to catch the ball. So, but I tell you one thing, for a true freshman, though you didn't see him, didn't give up, and so he's got a lot of fight in him. So Malcolm's the kind of guy that you want to go to war with any day. He's a real dude, and I love coaching him.
Bill, did you know when you took over as DC from your work with Malcolm with special teams that he was a guy you immediately thought we might want to elevate this guy? Or
yeah, I like that from special teams, because by about game 2 or 3, it's like, hey, he's our best gunner on the punt team. Let's get him out there. Let's get him out there. So he just his value kept adding himself up. We saw the talent. Sometimes it takes you a while on a true freshman in certain games to be able to jump into that. Then after you got to know his personality better, then it was like, let's get him out there, let's let him go play, and very excited about him. And his matchups obviously are huge this weekend with the amount of skill that they have at wide receiver, all the way across the board. They got tremendous players.
When Mickey became the head coach, he made a schedule change where he moved the day off to Monday. How's that maybe paid dividends for the players and you guys as coaches to have maybe a little extra time to put the plan in before you start practice?
It's been good for us. We get things, with the kids are in here on Sunday. We have Monday off, so we can take a deep breath and really kind of go through things a little bit cleaner for us. It's helped us in the preparation. It's been good for the kids to be able to get done. You don't want to go out there. The biggest problem you can have sometimes if you go out there prepared but maybe not fully prepared. I've been through it enough times where you do things, and the practice is over, and then the next day you're like, we're not doing that. So we're working really hard on never going backwards like that. So if we start off early, we'll be very, very basic at what we're doing to make sure we don't have any do-overs like, hey guys, remember that we talked about this, this, and this? That's out. So that's dumb. If we wasted our time, waste the kids' time and reps on stupid stuff. And sometimes like that, as coaches, you can do stupid stuff. The number of times I came up with something I thought was outstanding on late at night, and the next day you're driving in going, we can't do that. If we do that, they run this, it's a touchdown. So that was stupid. So eventually it all comes around. Hopefully you get to be as old as I am like that, you've seen enough stupid stuff to try to avoid that. So, and be really trying to work hard to do that this Saturday.
In your coaching career, have most of the guys that you worked with had the Monday off, or have they done the Sunday?
I've done it with both. Done it both ways like that. It's apples and oranges when the time gets right down to it. It's kind of the same part of it for us right there. You know, the good thing about it is the good and the plus and minus is that if they have Sunday off, they really kind of have some time off. Where if they have Monday off as their off day, which they do for us, that they still have class. So kind of a little bit that. But our kids handle that part so well. And they live around here. That's the thing you look for in the football team, which we have on offense, defense, special teams, is our hallways are packed with players all the time. To a certain point, it's kind of like, they get here at roughly 6 o'clock in the morning, and we'll have guys that are here in this building, academics, but up here until they leave at 6:15 to go get their food, and sometimes they'll come back. They just live up here. They're in there, they're always around us, they're asking questions. We'll be in our meetings after this, and they'll be poking their head in on something, on a certain play, whatever's going on. So our kids live up here, and that really helps because, boy, you have to understand the game because the game's complicated. I told you guys last week it was going to be a big boy fight, and that's what it was. It was physical, downhill, smash mouth, quarterback run. Every game's different. It was completely different from Indiana. These guys at Purdue fall somewhere in between, but again, it's completely different. So every week we're kind of rebuilding things from the start of like, here's what we got this week, whole different thing of what's going on with their skill set.
Luke Reimer is graded out as your better overall defensive players. I know he's questionable this week. If he's unable to play, what does his absence mean for the defense as a whole?
Yeah, we'll see how Luke's coming through, with his injury like that. I know he's feeling really good. I met with him last night late, like about 9:15 or something like that. He's feeling really good, so we'll see where he's at as he goes on that. One thing we have with Va and Chris, we're in really good shape with those guys that played a lot of reps. We made a big point as a staff, and I was talking to them, and they've all been great with it, of substitution and substitution early. So if you'll see guys rotating, because the worst you can do is be like, this kid's ready to play, and then all of a sudden it's late third quarter, get in there. So we try to get all the guys that are going to play in the game at some point in time in the game in the first half. So they get a feel for what's going on. If you play this 4 or 5 snaps at halftime, you still feel pretty engaged on what's going on. I've been out there. So those guys have been rolling anyway. So who's ever out there, we felt they're in really good shape with their rotation.
Let's do it. Coach, 4 interceptions in the last 2 games. I know you've been working safety with Coach Fisher. What is the change in mindset been since you've taken on?
Well, what's really helped is people always get confused and they say the word DB. That's craziness, okay? Because the corners and the safeties, the nickel, they're all different positions. So that's just kind of like being like, he's an offensive player, so you can coach the quarterbacks and the running backs, and that's not how it works. They're different positions that do different things. So when we're able to divide things up like that, so I've had them all before, like Coach Fish did, and that's miserable like that. So we were able to divide it up so Coach Fish can have the corners, I can have the nickels and the safeties, and that allows us to build. And then also those 3 positions also play the other one. So the nickel play safeties, and the safeties can play nickel. So that's how we can have the rotation to it. So that helps us a bunch on just time that you get to be able to get done, because that is really, really hard, because all of a sudden you're talking about press man coverage, you're working on that, and then what are the safeties doing? What's going on? So we felt we've maximized our staff with how we're divided up.
What have you seen out of Miles? Just, Nicky said he started slow this year, but in the last few games he's picked it up. What have you seen him?
He strained to the ball. He's straining better. It's the number one thing that Miles is doing. He's straining better to the football for us. So I like his strain to the football, his football intelligence right there. He's practicing better. The reason he's straining better is because he's practicing better. And we're pushing him really, really hard to strain, to get himself in position to tackle, all those things. That's why he's been playing better. And his antenna's up. He's really dialed into what's going on. He talks back there better. And so he's got himself in better shape that way. That's always room to improve. He's always training to be better. But like where he's at, he made a huge interception. It was a really nice play for us right there that kind of put us in position to win the game. So proud of him for that.
Those daily monikers that you use, competition Tuesday, turnover 3, I heard Casey mention one of those yesterday. Are those things that you've brought, that were here before you?
That was here before me. But it's pretty universal.
Yeah.
Everyone has them, so yeah.
Is it something that you feel like that you emphasize, that you've seen these guys buy into more?
Well, you can tell just how fast they are. So far, I think our fastest one is, I think Luke Reimer's our fastest at 22-something miles an hour, like that. And Gifford, we've had some high numbers at that. But you can tell, so if someone says you're fast and your numbers don't say that you're running fast, you can tell. Also, it talks about your how much you exert, your energy that you exert. So that's big to tell who's straining in practice. So if the reps are down, you can still tell if it's limited reps how hard they strain during that rep. And so that's a big plus for us. So there is a correlation to it that does help us. And it's always nice to be like, hey, here's your numbers. It shows me you're practicing really hard like that. Now there's way more to it, but it's a piece that is teachable for everyone that does help us in some fashion like that. And I don't know how else it's going to help us, cover 15 and try to get after 16, those things like that, but it does give us some tools to be able to get done.
Hey, with the way the defense has been playing the last 2 weeks, there's been questions about the Blackshirts, about whether or not those will be given back. What's your stance on
No.
that?
No, we got a great pack of kids playing right now together, and they're going to stay just like that. Coach Joseph decides that he wants to be able to give them back, absolutely, I'll support him 100%. But right now we got a very good mindset of how we're going to play as a unit, and that's all we're worried about right now, is just being one big unit.
Coach, against the passing offenses like to throw the ball a lot of the times, like run routes that makes it a defense. What is the challenge as a defensive coordinator against a team that likes to just have a lot of movement?
They've got a lot of movement, a lot of motion, so that they're a mesh route team. They've got every concept they have. That's because the quarterback can throw them. Some people are mesh route throwing teams, and the quarterback doesn't have a real strong arm, so they can try to create confusion to get easy throws. Well, this guy can go, obviously, he can go far hash throws. He can go big comebacks to the field. He's got big shots down the field. He's got every single throw. So in the NFL, scouts turn the film on. Do you have this? Yes. Do you have this? Yes. So he has everything. So their concepts are, that's part of them, but they've got it all. They got shots down the field. They've got mesh routes. They got every concept that you can imagine. They've got it because the quarterback can do it. That's the reason that they can do it. They have receivers. Most places have receivers that can do it. Do they have the guy, the quarterback, and they have it in that guy. So he's really, really good, and Coach Brom's outstanding.
The way you mentioned that about the guys playing together, can the Blackshirts, in your experience, bring a false sense of security if you have them?
Oh, I don't think I don't think too much. I think right now you just got a bunch of guys who just love being here. They love playing. They've been playing really hard. I think they'd probably be the first one to say, no, we're not worried about it. There's not one. It's never come up. It's not in conversation for us right there. We just have to be able to keep playing, the way we're playing, and build it to play hard, play physical, play fast, and strain for us right there. They're going to make plays. Like I've told you guys, a bunch of times before, that their play callers, their head coach, and I don't know, he makes a lot of money. So he does a lot of smart things. And so we're worried about just getting ourselves lined up and having a chance to go play really hard and doing it together. And got a great bunch of guys like that. So if I'm the state of Nebraska, I'm really proud of those guys, how hard they're playing, how the whole team's playing. Because there were some tough shots out there. Our quarterback took some shots and got back up. And that team like that in the locker room at Rutgers, just like this. No panic, no big deal. Here's what we got to get done. We're going to go out there. We talked about going out and scoring. Went out and did that. That helped the defensive bunch for us right there. So it's a real team. It's a true team in that locker room. So that's what's fun. When you go into a locker room and everybody's bought in together, that's just a heck of a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.